I do with Maricela. Perfect ceremony, love will grow. I do with Maricela.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, it is my honor and privilege to interview Maricela, a celebratory storytelling officiant and relationship coach who also happens to be my wife. So let's get right into it. What makes an officiant more than a reader of vows? Today, we sit down with Maricela to ask the questions that reveal the heart of an officiant, their value, craft, and why this work matters. A great officiant doesn't just speak words, they hold the story. Today, we dig into how we do that.
Hi, everybody. I am Maricela, wedding officiant and celebratory storyteller that brings your dream wedding ceremony to life.
Hi, I'm Henry, Maricela's right hand and your relationship officiant. I'm here during the entire process to make sure everything from client meetings to wedding day logistics runs smoothly. So here we go. In this conversation, we'll go beyond logistics. I'll ask Maricela the questions that reveal an officiant's heart. Expect practical stories, red flags, and red flags to watch for.
Not that many.
We shall see. All right. So the very first question, right, that all the couples want to know, our audience wants to know. How did you become an officiant, and what keeps you doing this work?
I love that. I love that story. And I love that question. I love when when they ask me and I get to tell it because it's my favorite story. Really accidental. I got into this work because my youngest sister, Jelly, was getting married. And I had said to her, my gift to you will be, I will find you an officiant and I will pay for it. That will be my gift to both of you for your wedding. And I thought this was going to be easy work, right? It was find someone, pay for them, tell them to show up, where everything would be easy peasy. But it was much more difficult than I was prepared for, right? I needed a bilingual officiant, right, for my parents to feel included and they can understand everything that was going on. The majority of our family was Spanish speaking, so for us, a bilingual officiant is perfect. And so I went on to the search of finding one. It was the hardest thing to do. One, I couldn't find anyone, and the few that I did find, they looked like they really didn't enjoy life.
So to paint the picture here, how long are we talking here?
that I looked.
No, how long was this ago? When did this start?
This was 17 years ago.
Okay.
17 years ago that I did that.
Okay.
So I contacted them. They were so humdrum and just boring and almost like I was bothering them with my questions for my sister's wedding. And I was bothered by the fact that they weren't excited at all.
To want to come perform your sister's wedding.
Right. It's my sister's getting married. How dare you not be happy about that? And so it was tough. So out of a frustration, one day I called her and I said, I can't find anyone. Do you care terribly if I do it? Mind you, I didn't know what made me think I could do that, right? I'd never done that before. I didn't even know if I could do it, but it was just more or less out of the frustration of not being able to find someone that I felt was ideal. That this is what we need. This is who we want. They'll do great. I know it. And I couldn't find that. And so she said, yeah, that'd be great. I said, well, no, run it by Neff and
her
fiance and see if he's okay with that. And if both of you are on board, then I will go ahead and really look into how to do that if we need to. So she called me within 5 minutes and says, Neff says yes. I said, okay, well then let me continue and let me figure this out. So I figured it out and I got ordained and I did all the things, but I also wanted training. I didn't know anyone in this business. I didn't know anyone who officiated weddings. Like where do you find them? Obviously it's hard. And since then, 17 years later, I continue doing this work because I truly love it. It's I say all the time, I have the best job. I have the best job to help people through this journey of going from single people to married people and uniting themselves in this life. And I think that's such an important work.
And I think also you're right. 17 years ago, social media wasn't what it is today.
Absolutely not.
So it was a lot more difficult to find a good officiant.
Right. And also very surprising that women, I just didn't come across them. There were little to no women officiants at that time. And it was difficult when I started to do the work to find work, right? Because I was also young, and the officiants normally were older men.
Right.
And so I was very different, right, from that. But it is a beautiful experience. And since the first time I did it, I did not want to stop doing it.
Right.
So
here you are, awesome. 17 years later.
Here I am.
All right.
Still in your face.
How would you describe your officiating voice or style?
I am easy. I'm friendly. I'm warm. I'm a warm storyteller, but I'm witty also. And during ceremony, I try to use light humor just to ease the nerves a little bit and get the crowd to come with us and stay with us throughout. I'm personable, but I'm relaxed too. But I'm also very structured and very prepared, if you can have both.
Yes. Okay. How do you get to know a couple's story?
I meet them. I talk to them. Very, very important to do. I don't always get the ability to do that, right? Sometimes people hire you and they really don't want to have the meetings, and they really don't want to have any of that. They just want you to show up on day of and do the work, which is perfectly fine. We'll do that. But for those where personalization does matter, I meet them, I talk to them, and ask them the questions that guide me through what their story looks like.
Well, how do you deal with shy or reserved couples?
I have a lot of those. And for those, I created a questionnaire that I send them. It's like, you don't have to talk to me. You don't have to tell me all your details if you don't want to, but type them. I find that that's easier for them to do, especially for the very reserved ones, for the ones that don't really like the conversations. I give them the ability to still tell me what they want to tell me, what they want me to know, but without them feeling uncomfortable having to do that.
What was the biggest wedding mistake you ever made and vowed never to repeat? This should be good.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. But I forgot one time to let the couple say their vows. I completely glossed over that, and I didn't give them the opportunity to say their vows. And it was you who told me after the wedding ceremony that I forgot that, right? Because he pays attention to everything I say now. And if I change anything in the way that I do things, like, he'll pick it up. And so you told me, they didn't want to do vows. I don't think you gave them a chance to do vows. And I panicked immediately. And I said, oh no, I really did forget. And they did want to do personal vows, right? I felt so bad. So I saw them a few minutes after wedding ceremony was over. And I told them, I apologized. I said, I'm so sorry. I didn't give you the opportunity to say your vows. And they were such sports about it. They were so gracious. And they're like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We were going to say them to each other in private.
So it just worked out for the best.
It just worked out for the best, yes. But I still felt really bad, and I still felt pretty awful. So I haven't done it since. It's been that time. But yeah, these mistakes, I don't like them, and they stay with me.
Have you ever canceled a wedding?
No. So
I've
been very lucky.
You haven't canceled a single wedding in 17 years?
I have not.
That's
not that I haven't.
An impressive track record.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. But not that I haven't considered it, or not that I haven't been put in a situation where I might. I just haven't been able to really actually be okay with doing that, right? The first time that I considered canceling a wedding was after my mom died. My mom died on a Thursday, and I had to officiate on that Saturday.
Wow.
And And I really, really contemplated upon it, and I considered calling them and say, you know what, I can't. And that would be okay, right? Acceptable. My mother has just died. It's an acceptable
I
reason.
think definitely if you're going to have an excuse to miss
A
a
wedding
wedding, that definitely
would be
will
one.
be at the top of the list there.
Yeah, yeah. And ultimately, I didn't cancel it, and I prayed about it too. You know, more than anything, because I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to deliver the ceremony the way that they deserved. Right? That my feelings and my emotions would get in the way, and I wouldn't be able to deliver the quality they're expecting. It's really more of the reason why I considered it. And ultimately, I went through with it, right? And I'm like, just, God help me, please help me get through it and show up for them. Because also, too, I know what it's like when they panic, because I'm the one a lot of them call when they're looking for a replacement. When they're in that zone, they're in that moment, they're scrambling. And we're what? That was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 days away. And I was just thinking how panicked they would be, and how I didn't want to put them in that situation, even though it would have been acceptable, right? I still didn't want to do that. And so I just asked, God in the universe to help me and help me get through that day.
Now, I do know this story, right? And do you think, well, let me first share that when you first officiated your first wedding for your little sister, when your mother saw you in your robe, she was so proud of you, right? So proud of how you looked, how you performed, right? She was so proud.
Yeah.
I want to say that probably played a huge role after your mom passed away in you deciding to go ahead and do the wedding, still the ceremony, because she would have wanted you to, right?
Yes.
She would have wanted you to keep going with what you do and what you love.
She would have said something like, "Ay, mija, don't stop doing that just because of me." She would have said something like that. She would have wanted me to continue doing that and not let that stop me. But again, that's a very emotional. Your mother dying, it's very emotional. So while it's understandable, still, she would say something like, "Ándale, ándale, ve, ve." And so I did. Sí fui. I've even officiated coming, just a few hours from the ER. It's like I've been in the ER a couple of times and not sure that I'm going to be able to make it in a few hours to get to ceremony.
I remember that, guys. The night before, she got really sick, really sick. Went to the ER. It was a long night. And then I was telling her, I was like, I think you're going to have to cancel this. You're not well. And you were like, no, give me my meds and let's go. You were very sickly the whole way over there, but came, game time, show time. You put on your face, your professional face, took care of that wedding. Nobody knew you were sick. And afterwards, I think when we got home, you slept for like 2-3 days.
I did. Right? I got home. I had another set of meds, got into my pajamas, went to bed, didn't come out for 2 days to recover from that. But more than anything is that it's like I don't like to disappoint my couples. Like they're counting on me and they're depending on me to show up when I said I'm going to show up. And I will do whatever is necessary for me to do that for you within my powers and within my abilities.
No, and you absolutely did that one time. Yeah, I was like, no, there's no way, right? But
and I've done that twice. Yeah. I've done that twice. And then too, when my dad died, we had also a wedding. His was also 2 days, within 2 days of my dad dying also. Wow. And those are tough. Yeah. Those are tough things to do. But, I rein in the work ethic that my dad put in, not just to me, but to us, our siblings. You show up to work. Yeah. No matter what's going on, you show up to work. And I think that's what makes me such a dependable performer, right? That no matter what is going on, I will show up to work and I will do my best job that I can for you that day, no matter how I feel, no matter what is going through 102-degree fever, we're going to get it done. And after that, I can just go and recover. It's fine.
What do you think is your main responsibility as an officiant?
To shepherd the couple through the journey, right? To help them, guide them through, to manage expectations, not just of them, but of family members, also of the guests that are going to be appearing that day. To also create a safe environment for them where they can tell me what their wants and what their don't wants are, and I will honor them. I will protect those, to protect their wishes, because it's not about me, it is about them, about what they want and what they don't want, and what they want to feel and what they want to experience of the day. And ultimately, to also communicate with them clearly while being prepared.
Right.
Always be prepared.
What's the best compliment a wedding guest ever gave you?
Well, it was going back to that wedding that I did after my mom passed away. I did the ceremony and everything. I got through it. It was beautiful. It was great. The crowd, the crowd was with me the whole time, and I felt them. And as I was leaving, the father of the bride was in the parking lot, and he came up to me, and he said that it was the best ceremony that he had been part of, and he gave me like the biggest hug ever. And he'll never know how much I needed that hug that day, and how much I needed to hear that, right? Because I was so worried about not being able to perform properly for them. And when he said that and he gave me that hug, it's like all of a sudden I'm healed. It was such a fatherly hug that he gave, and such a reassuring one that it made everything okay. It's okay. I worried a lot for nothing. It was fine, but that mattered. That mattered to me.
Sounds like it's something that was needed at the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, very, very much so. Yeah. Especially because I was so worried about the performance and stuff.
And that validated, right, the performance.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, right, these are performances.
Yeah, they are.
Right? We are performing for the couple and for their guests, right?
Yeah, and just like, performers out there, you know that no matter how you're feeling or what you're thinking or what you're going through, you must perform. That is your job. That's what you're called to do.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. Yeah. And if you're not able to do that, well, you're going to have a hard time. And luckily, I've been very blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah. What is your favorite part of ceremonies and why?
My favorite part is crowd energy. I love when I show up to a wedding and the wedding guests, because I don't see the couple right away very often. I have to go find them. But when I show up and I can feel more than anything, I can feel the energy from the guests. Like they're happy, they're excited, they're talking to the couple, they're taking pictures or they're sharing stories, but you could just feel the energy from guests who are truly happy to be there and who are truly supportive and loving of these two people that are now going to join their lives. I love that. It's my favorite thing when I feel them connected. I think that's the best.
Yeah, that's the best because unfortunately you can also feel when it's not there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Luckily, we don't feel those too often, right?
Luckily, no.
Right, for the most part, right.
Right, luckily, no. But that is my favorite part. My second favorite part would be when they do their vows, because I do like to hear what they say and how they express their love and their affection for each other and how they're feeling. But the crowd energy, I think, is my favorite part because I know it's going to be a great wedding when the crowd is present and connected.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. What is your biggest challenge when you're officiating a wedding?
When you guys talk through ceremony.
meaning the couple, right?
The couple.
At the altar.
At the altar. I'm there, I'm reading my thing, I'm doing my stuff, and they're talking about, they didn't put the milk back in the fridge this morning.
They're in the process of getting married and they're having a full-blown conversation.
A whole conversation about not what we're doing.
I think, though,
and I could hear them.
I think in the couple's defense, I think that has a lot to do with nerves.
It does. It
right?
does.
They go to something basic and automatic,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
And so since
conversation
they're
between.
there, they use each other to reassure themselves and to secure themselves, right? They're holding hands and they're
Right.
and I know that they're trying to calm themselves down, but it is distracting to me because I'm trying to tell you things, but I can also hear you.
Right.
And I can't exactly close you off entirely, right? Because I can hear you. And I don't know if you guys back there can hear them or know that that's happening, but I certainly can. When it is too much, I will put my hand on their shoulders, indicating, stop doing that. You're getting carried away. But more than anything, too, while I know that their nerves doing that, I still want them to come back and be connected with each other and with us.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
What is the funniest or oddest moment in a wedding you've officiated?
Well, it's that uneven vows one that we did, right? Where the guy went really, really long and the girl took the napkin from her dress and
Like
said,
10
"Baby, I
seconds.
love you, thank
Yeah.
you." That was different, right? That was very different. It was very odd, and it was such an odd moment that all of us were like, me not so much. My face didn't show it, but I felt it, right? And I was aware of it. The other times too, when it's really awkward, is when or just weird, when the crowd is not feeling it. The crowd doesn't really want to be there. They're very reserved with their feelings and their emotions. They're very tight with them. And then I'll throw out some light jokes and some light humor, hoping they'll
Nothing.
catch it, and it just goes over their head, and they don't want anything to do with it.
And I know the one you're talking about. Right? It was a backyard wedding. It was a tough
That was
crowd,
so
right?
tough. Remember, they didn't even want to move chairs.
No,
Like
right.
they didn't want to move up. They wanted to stay in the
Right.
back of the chairs. You
Yeah.
asked them to move. I asked them
Fill
to
in the
move.
chairs from the front,
Yes,
right? They were all sitting in the back,
and they did not.
and nothing.
They were. I'm not moving.
They weren't having it,
They were.
and it had nothing to do with shade or anything, because the whole
No.
thing was under shade.
Yeah, yeah. The weather wasn't
Yeah,
the issue.
it wasn't an issue.
No, they just, and you do come across that. They're just, I don't want anything to do with that. I'm not doing anything, and I'm not smiling either. I think that was really tough. It was really tough, and it's tough for me to accept that, right? It's tough for me to leave those weddings and be like, well, I did the best I could. I know I did the best I could, but it kind of like bothers me a little bit that they were so unwilling to be receptive.
Right.
And so that always makes me question.
Right. No, but you know what? At the end of the day, the couple was very happy with the ceremony.
They were, yeah.
And that's the most. That's the most we can ask for.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But it also makes me question too. It's like, if you're gonna be that unwilling, why are you there? Why are you here? If you feel the way that you feel, if you feel the way I'm feeling you, why would you come and deliver this animosity,
this negative energy,
here to this day? Like, for what?
Yeah.
For the free dinner? I mean, I don't know.
What is your rock bottom wish for every couple?
For them to be happy, always. For them to be safe. And before we begin ceremony, I always pray for them all the time, right before we begin ceremony, to myself, right? Whether they're religious or not, doesn't matter. It's my prayer for you. It's my wishes for you that you really are happy and you're safe and you have a beautiful life after we leave you.
Right.
What
do you love about officiating weddings?
That you get to witness real life changing commitment in real time. It's like 5 minutes ago you were single people. 5 minutes later now you're married people, and you're uniting. Everything is changing in your life. If you're changing your name, that gets to your change. Your status changes. Your address sometimes changes. Everything in your life from this moment forward is going to be different in some way, some form. And And that's really cool. And I also love to be a storyteller, part storyteller and part guide.
So, Maricela, what is the wedding tip of the week?
Ooh, find yourself a very good officiant like myself. But if you're gonna do wedding vows, again, if you're gonna do wedding vows during ceremony, or you're even if you're not even gonna do the wedding vows, but you're gonna do the repeat afters, right? Versus just saying the I do at the end, then you want to practice speaking into the microphone,
Right.
so that you can hear what that sounds like. And it sounds like a whatever thing, but it does minimize awkwardness during ceremony. It really does, because people, when you put a microphone in front of people, they panic. They do. They're like, what is this?
Sounds like a lot like public speaking, right?
Yes, we're talking about the other day where people say that they rather die than speak in public.
Right. Which is
Because it is scary. It is scary.
ridiculous. Yeah.
It's a very real fear people have, and it's uncomfortable,
Right.
and it makes you awkward.
So the biggest takeaway, an officiant's technical skill matters, but their heart, questions, and ability to listen and adapt are what make a ceremony soulful. Hire someone who asks the right questions and honors your story. If you've enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe and leave a question for Maricela. We'll answer the listeners' questions in the next episode.
All right, guys. Well, that's our time for today. Thank you so much for staying here with us. From our hearts to yours, please stay kind. I am Maricela.
I am Henry.
Love is everything.
Stop.